Hello, this is Kate. I'm Willie Faye. Welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, I am going to teach you the Tunisian Simple Stitch. We're going to do the forward pass and the return pass a couple of times, and then we're going to add a second color so we can achieve this little flare. I do want you to know that Tunisian does curl a bit. Some stitches like the purl stitch maybe don't curl quite as much, but overall it is just one of the things that Tunisian does because you're working one side only. But when you finish your project, if you do a scarf or a blanket, you can just wash it or soak it and lay it out to dry flat, and you shouldn't have problems with curling anymore after that. So it's just one of those things you'll deal with while you're constructing your garment or your blanket or whatever. So let's cover a few important points before we get started. First of all, you can use a regular hook for this tutorial. This is a learning tool, so I've tried to keep the stitch count low so that if you do not own a Tunisian hook, which if you're learning the technique, you probably don't, you can just learn it with a regular hook. Just be sure that the shaft on it is straight and narrow. You don't want to use a hook like this because that narrow part of the shaft is quite short and you can't put your loops on down like this is too fat. So you're going to want one that's straight and consistently narrow all the way down. However, when you actually do a larger project and you want to do a scarf or a blanket, you're going to want a real Tunisian hook. They're long and they have a stopper on the end. I bought this one in the UK. I found it in the shops there, just on the shelf, but when I came home, they didn't carry them in the shop. So I'm going to say that if you live in the US, depending on where you live, they may have them, or it could be a bit of a crapshoot. So I will tell you that you can get them online through your craft store, your favorite craft store, or Amazon. You shouldn't have trouble finding them. You just may not be able to find them on the shelf. Now, if you're going to do a blanket, not just a scarf, you're going to want one with a cable. Okay. I'm going to be using a DK Weight Escapees Color Crafter. This one is Alphen, and you're going to chain 20, and then don't do anything more. Once you get your 20, just wait on me. Don't try to put any extra stitches in. So once you've chained 20, what you want to do then is, if you have using a regular hook, of course, you're just going to use that regular hook. Be sure that that hook is a little bigger than what you normally use. So if your yarn calls for a size 4, you might want to go up to a 5 or 6. Mine calls for a 4, but I always scale down with this particular yarn to a 3.5. So I've got a 4.5 hook here. So it is bigger than what I would normally use. Once you've chained, if you are using a Tunisian hook, then you want to switch that over at this point. If you're using your regular hook for the tutorial, of course, you'll just continue. So then what you're going to do then is you're going to skip this first loop right here that's attached to this one on your hook. You're going to go to this second chain from your hook, and you're going to pull up a loop. Now in every chain, you're going to go ahead and pull up a loop. So just insert your hook into the chain in there and pull that loop up. Insert your hook into the chain and pull up a loop. And you're going to do that all the way down. So when you're finished, if you've chained 20, you should still have 20 loops on your hook. Now I will mention to you that this is called the forward pass. When you come back across, and I'll show you how we do that in a moment, then that will be your return pass. One forward pass and one return pass equals one row. So you haven't completed a row when you finish this forward pass. You've completed the row when you do the return pass. So we always chain up on the left. We don't chain up on the right. Okay, so we're going to grab our yarn and pull through only one loop. So that's our chain 1. Now for the rest of the row, we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. yarn over and pull through 2. You will continue to do that all the way down. So now I finished this row. I've done my return pass. Now I'm going to do another forward pass. We're working with vertical bars now. So you're going to actually ignore this one right here on the edge and go into the second one from your hook. You're going to slip your hook up under that vertical bar and pull up a loop. Find the next vertical bar, it's right here. Slip your hook up under it and pull up a loop. So you're doing exactly what you did with the chains, except now you're working under the vertical bars. So I have pulled up a loop for every single vertical bar except the final one, which is right here on the edge. You don't want to just slip your hook under that and pull up another loop. You want to put it under both loops. So if you turn it over on its edge and just look, inspect that edge, you'll see that there's a front loop and a back loop. So you're going to actually slide your hook behind both of those for that final edge stitch. Okay? So you're not just going to go under that vertical bar, you're going to slide your hook under the front and the back. You are then going to go ahead and pull up a loop, just like you have, to finish it off. But you just want to be sure and catch both of those loops on the edge. Now, again, on the left, I'm going to tighten this up. We want to chain 1 before we do our return pass. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And continue to do that till you reach the right hand side. So you've completed your second return pass. We're going to do a third forward pass, and then we're going to add the other color so that you can see how to get the effect that you saw in the swatch. You're going to skip this edge stitch and go straight under the vertical bar of the second one and pull up a loop. Let's go ahead and do that with every single vertical bar. Just slide your hook up under it and pull up a loop. Now when you reach the end, to switch the yarn color to get the technique that you saw in the swatch, you're going to insert your hook under both of those loops, but you're not going to pull up your first color. This time you're going to add your second color. So what you'll do is you'll take the new yarn and kind of pin it to the back here. Just kind of pin it against the back, pull that through those loops on the end like you normally would have done with your first color. Now you're going to chain 1. Now we'll be coming back to color A, so we don't want to cut that off. Just let it hang there, and we're going to go ahead and work with color B. So you're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Remember, we've already chained 1. Yarn over and pull through 2. And if you notice, every time you pull through, there are 2 colors you're pulling through. So that should be pretty easy to see. And the final one, pull through 2. And now we're going to do the forward pass once again with the same color. skip over that edge stitch, go directly under the vertical bar of the second stitch and pull up a loop. So we just do exactly what we did before with our color B. Okay, so we reach that final stitch on the edge. We're going to insert our hook under the front and back loop. And instead of pulling up our color B, we're now going to reach for color A. And we're going to chain 1. And then we're going to go through 2 loops all the way down. And final 2 loops. And then again with our color A, we skip over that edge vertical bar. We go into the second, up underneath that vertical bar, and begin pulling up our loops again for our forward pass. Okay, so I've done a few more rows here, and as you can see, it's just a really nice little effect that you get from it. Then, of course, as I said, it wants to curl. So what you want to do when you finish your scarf or whatever it is you're doing is you want to go and get it wet, lay it out flat to dry. You can block it. Acrylic really doesn't block that well, to be honest with you. So just getting it wet and laying it flat to dry will often do the trick. So when you want to finish this off now, what you want to do is you're just actually going to go back under these loops, okay, like you would before, like you're going to do your forward pass, and you want to pull up that loop and complete a single crochet. So you'll do this when you finish your project, your scarf, your blanket, whatever. Go up under the next vertical bar, pull up the loop, and complete a single crochet. Now I often will go ahead and trade out my Tunisian hook and just insert a regular crochet hook into that and go ahead and finish it off with a regular crochet hook. So you're just going to go under the vertical bar and do a single crochet all the way down, and that will close up your work. This is what it looks like. It's pretty cool. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. We'll see you the next time.